Welcome to AI ConvoCast, where we bring you the latest in AI and tech innovation. Please don't forget to rate, review, and share if you like what you hear. Let's jump right in.
Today, we will be covering OpenAI's big ChatGPT upgrade that brings unlimited chats and stronger reasoning to free users, a Stanford team using generative AI to design working synthetic viruses, and a major leadership shakeup at Google DeepMind as Demis Hassabis steps aside and several foundational researchers head for the exits. Let's start with OpenAI, which is rolling out a new default model for ChatGPT this week. The model is called GPT-5.6 Luna, and it's becoming the default for everyone, including free users. If you're on the free tier or the lower-cost Go plan, you now get unlimited text chats plus a new Think button you can hit for harder questions when you want the model to slow down and reason more carefully. Plus and Pro subscribers get an updated model called Soul, along with a slider that lets you dial up or down how much reasoning the model applies to a given task. The headline here is accuracy. OpenAI says Luna responses containing at least one factual error are 62% less common than with the previous GPT 5.5 instant model. That's a big deal because factual mistakes, or so-called hallucinations, are the single most frustrating thing for everyday users who can't always tell when the model is confidently wrong. On the paid side, OpenAI describes the updated Soul as producing more focused answers, with less unnecessary formatting and a more consistent tone, which is aimed at people tired of getting bloated, over-formatted replies. What's quietly interesting is the design philosophy shift. Instead of forcing you to pick from a list of cryptically named models, OpenAI is moving toward letting you just choose how much speed, cost, or thought you want. And the timing matters. These changes follow unusually fast price cuts, which suggests OpenAI is feeling real pressure from cheaper Chinese open-weight competitors nipping at its heels. Next, one of the more striking research stories in a while. A Stanford-led team used generative genome models to design viruses that never existed before, and those designs turned into functional organisms capable of infecting and killing E. coli bacteria. The work was published in the journal Science. To put this in plain terms, AI has spent years interpreting biology, predicting how proteins fold, or reading existing genomes. This is different. The AI generated an entire viable biological system from scratch, and it actually worked in the lab. The upside is genuinely promising. This kind of approach could eventually lead to new treatments for antibiotic-resistant infections, which kill huge numbers of people every year. But it also raises an obvious biosecurity concern. To be clear, these experiments targeted bacteria, not humans, and independent experts praised the precautions the researchers took. The worry is what comes next. Johns Hopkins experts Thomas Inglesby and Moritz Hank summed up the tension well, noting that the technology to build this exists, but the governance to safely steer it does not. The gap is real. Current U.S. high-risk research policy focuses mostly on modifying natural pathogens and doesn't specifically address organisms designed by AI. In other words, the capability has arrived ahead of the rulebook. Finally, a major leadership reshuffle at Google DeepMind, arguably its most consequential in years. Demis Hassabis, the Nobel laureate who has led DeepMind, is stepping back from day-to-day management to become chairman of Google DeepMind and chief scientist at Alphabet. DeepMind's chief technology officer, Kore Kavouchoglu, will now run the unit day-to-day, reporting directly to Sundar Pichai. Kavouchoglu says his first priority is creating a clear path for the Gemini roadmap. The bigger story might be who's leaving. Google chief scientist Jeff Dean, one of the most influential engineers in the company's history, is departing to start an independent public benefit company called Discovery Loop, and he's bringing along veteran researchers Sanjay Ghemawat, Oriol Vinyals, and Kwok Lee. Google is backing the new venture with investment and cloud services, so it's not a hostile split, but losing that much foundational talent at once is significant. Reporting points to delayed models, low morale, and mounting competitive pressure from OpenAI and Anthropic, so the timing is delicate. For Hassabis personally, the move gives him room to focus on what he cares about most, artificial general intelligence, and scientific research, and he continues to lead the AI drug discovery company Isomorphic Labs. He wrote that he feels AGI is close at hand, which tells you exactly where his attention is heading, even as others question whether Google can keep Gemini on track through all this churn.
Thank you for listening to AI Convo Cast. Please don't forget to rate, review, and share if you like what you hear. Thanks and hope to see you again next time.